Welcome. We've created this part in front of you for you to practice dimensioning inside Inventor. Yesterday, we went through a PowerPoint that introduced you to all of these guidelines, and I'm not going to walk through them again, but they will be available to you on Schoology or the current LMS. So all of these guidelines go along with the PowerPoint. We had a bunch of slides that gave you a good and a bad example of each of these rules. So this is just a practice part, just something for us to dimension. There's really nothing special about it. I will provide this part to you. Directions in class will be given for you to know where it's at, if it's been emailed to you or if it's been posted in Schoology for you to download. But download the part and make sure you put it into use your Windows Explorer and make sure you put it into a folder to organize it and know where it's at before you open it and use it. Actually, you don't even need to open the part, you just need the part file. Okay, so once you've got it downloaded and you know where it is, let's choose New, and let's choose the Edgewood ANSI drawing page. So we're going to do a drawing file. Create. Go ahead and fill in these fields to complete your title block. I'm going to call this, the part was called Dimensioning Practice 1, so I'm going to call this Dimensioning Practice Part 1. You can put whatever today's date is, your class period. Okay. And it will create the title block for you filled in. Okay. We need to now bring that part onto our drawing. So under Place Views tab, choose Base. And if the part doesn't already appear, hit the Windows Explorer button, and then you need to go navigate to where that part is. So remember we said make sure you save it to a folder where you know where it is. Make sure you do that. Okay. Because I just created it, Inventor is kind of already predicting that I need it. I'm going to get my multi-view. I'm going to do a front. I'm going to drag this down here. I'm clicking and holding to drag. I'm going to get it down here. I'm going to leave a little space on the left, a little space on the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to go straight up to get my top view. I'm not going to go all the way against the border. I'm going to leave a little space above it like that. And then I'm going to do my right view. Again, I'm going to leave some space between them. I don't want to go too far away, but kind of right in here. And then I'll go diagonally up and right to give myself the multi-view. I'm sorry, the isometric. Right click and say OK. To shade the isometric, it's the only one we shade, I bring my mouse towards the part I get that red dotted border. I right click, choose Edit View, and then inside this menu, under Style, the third button is Shading. Click the shading, press OK. Now to place our dimensions. Annotate means to add notes or text. Under the Annotate tab, we have a lot of options. One is the dimensioning tool. I'm going to choose the dimension tool. One rule says that we should always provide the overall width, depth, and height. So let's place those first. Width can be seen in the top view or the front view. But the front view, we see the contour better. So I'm going to do the widths in the front view. I try to avoid getting the green dot or anything selected and get just the side. If you click to where you have a green dot, especially one here, your extension lines will go to the green dot, and then they'll actually look like they run into the part. So I really just want to choose just the line. So I'm just taking my time to kind of move and hover, click, and then I'm going to pull away. And I don't want to leave it right above the part because this is the longest dimension. Remember, the shorter dimensions will be closer to the part. The longer one should be further away. Okay, so there's the overall width. I need the overall height, so from top to bottom. And I need the overall depth. I could have seen height here as well. The right view, this front face that I can see, is represented as this left edge. The back face is the right edge, so the distance from the front face to the back face is depth. I can see depth right here. Oh. Control Z to undo. I misclicked. Click, click. Oh, something's wrong. Let me just... Oh, the dimension tool got turned off. Turn it back on. There's the front face, there's the back face, and there's my depth. I could have also done depth up here, but if I do that, now I've given the depth twice, and we're supposed to be concise and not give the same dimension more than once. So I'm going to undo that one. I hit Control Z to undo, but it did turn off my dimensioning tool when I did that. So I'll turn it back on. So there's my overall dimensions. Now I'm going to come back and add extra width that I need. I can see that this is not a part that has no features. It's not featureless. And so I want to show where these features are. That corner, this corner, all these pieces. So I'm going to dimension from the left edge to the furthest feature, not the end, but the furthest one. And then I'm going to come back and get to the next furthest. So I'm working from the longest to the shortest, and then the last one right here. This style of dimensioning, what I just did, is called baseline dimensioning. I have dimensioned the location of each of these features all from a common line, from this left edge. And so this acts as a baseline to kind of show where each of these are. Now I didn't explicitly state each of these dimensions maybe like this width here or this width, but they all can be figured out now using the numbers. If I know that this is 1.5, and I can see that this is 0.75, well, there's only one number that will add to the 0.75 to make your 1.5. So it has to be 0.75, right? Same thing here. If this is 2.5, and to the previous feature is 1.5, this has to be 1 inch. So we've located where each feature is. We've just done it from all of them from the left edge. That's called baseline. Okay, so those are my widths. Now I'm going to add heights. It's not uniform in height. I have a feature here that is not as high as the total height, so I'm going to get to this feature right here. And I'm okay getting that green dot because I do just want that corner. And then I do have a different height over here. Instead of dragging that extension line all the way through the part all the way over here, we're going to go ahead and put this height from here to the bottom on the left side. That's a little more neat and organized since that feature is on the left side. The contour, the protrusion, think about where you might clamp on with a dial caliper would be on the left side. So it just makes sense to go ahead and put it there. And now I've got all of my heights, I believe. The overall height is dimensioned. I have this height and I have this height. Lastly, we'll handle the round features. I have a partial circle right here, an arc or a fillet, it's called. And over here I can see in the picture to the isometric, I have a hole. So here on this right face, I can see the circle. Well, first let's go ahead and take care of the arc or the fillet. This one, you don't need to change anything. Dimensioning is on. It'll automatically create a leader line. Zoom in a little bit. If I just select it, but I don't want to select that point like the midpoint or the end point. I just want to get just the arc. So I'm careful about when I click that I'm not getting those green dots unless I'm okay with them. So I'm going to click and then pull away. Now I got to figure out where to put it. It's supposed to be diagonal. I don't want it to overlap. I don't want the leader line to go through like extension lines or dimension lines if I can help it. So a lot of these places I'm having to go through those. This is not the worst right here, okay? It's not at all. Sometimes it's really hard to avoid going through the extension lines, but I could put it down here. Okay, that would be another option. Right click and say okay. All right, and then that just shows that that arc or that fillet, the radius was 1/4 inch. Okay, now for the hole. In the Annotate tab, I have some other tools that I haven't used yet. Right over here in the symbols. This is the center mark. If I choose this one, I can choose the circle on the face here where I can see the hole as a circle, and it adds the center mark. I can also choose this tool. It's called the Centerline Bisector. It'll put a line through the center of the circle, the hole. So I'm going to choose that tool. And in these other views where I can see as hidden lines the hole, I'm going to go ahead and select the two edges, and it goes ahead and puts the center line through there. I'll do that in the top view as well. Okay, that helps us understand in those pictures that that's a hole running through the part. Now back to my dimensioning tool. I need to do two things with the hole. I need to locate where it is, okay, on this face. Where is it along the width? In this case, it's really the depth, though, in the right view, right? So where is it along the depth? And where is it on the height? So it's going to take 2 dimensions to locate the center. So I'm going to dimension from the left edge to the center mark. And then how high is it to the center? I'm going to go from the bottom to the center mark. So that locates it. It tells somebody exactly where to put the center, where to line up the drill bit. Next, I need to size the hole. To do that, I simply grab, I'm on dimension, I just select the circle, and you can see the symbol there is going to be a diameter. I pull it away, and I'll get a leader line instead of normal extension lines. And I just want it to be diagonal, and I don't want to cut through the other dimensions or extension lines, so I don't want to do this. That looks kind of messy. And I'm just going to place it right here kind of neatly. So I'll click, and my dimensioning tool is still turned on. I can right click and say OK to turn it off. And I'm going to zoom back out and kind of center my picture, and I should have a finished dimension drawing here. Oop. Sorry, my mouse kind of moved on me. So we can see all of our widths right here. I don't have any special features on the bottom that I needed to dimension widths on the bottom. I have all of my heights. I have my only depth. This part has a consistent depth. And I have my round features. I have the radius of the fillet right here. I have the location of the hole and the size of the hole. And that's it.